So first meeting, Critical Messaging Association, 9 o'clock sharp. And then I have a second, a third, and a fourth meeting, so no time to lose. This is booth of the Critical Messaging Alliance. I have a meeting here at 9 o'clock with some of the participants of the Critical Messaging Alliance. One of them is already here, that's Brad from TPL Systems. It's 9:07 right now, 9:08. So we wait for another few minutes?
Sure.
Good, Brad says sure.
When we started, that was really nice.
When all networks are down, there's only one technology that survives, and that's critical messaging technology. Well, for others maybe paging or beeper technology from the past. We live here right now in the future, and this is Australia. This is Critical Messaging Association in Australia at CommsConnect. Let's do a very short introduction. That's a good introduction. That's a perfect introduction. All right, Johan.
Yeah, my name is Johan Svelm from STI Engineering. We're based in Perth in Western Australia. We're an engineering company specialising in all aspects of wireless data.
I'm Liam Darling. I'm from a company called Tellen Systems. Our focus is always about mission critical comms. It's about understanding how long you have to save someone from drowning. It's understanding how long it takes for a bushfire to travel a kilometre, and it's about getting messages out to the people, to first responders to help in those situations.
Hi, Brad Welsh from TPL Systems Asia Pacific, here representing TPL from Southwest France. We manufacture these guys, the handheld devices, integrating new technologies, old technologies to help deliver messages and get responses back so that we know who's coming and when they're coming and where they are.
Hi, I'm John Bishop from Prism Systems. We are a manufacturer of software and hardware, and we're the part that sits in the middle of getting the message in and getting the message out to the beeper, pager, critical messaging device.
You look good, dude.
Yeah, your hair looks good. That's good. We'll come back. But by the way, we're not talking about hair here. We're talking about critical messaging. And there's one company who really produces in Australia. I didn't know that, but that's your company, or STI.
That's
so
right.
what do you do exactly?
Yeah, so what makes us a little bit unique is that we design and also manufacture all our products in-house. So in our facilities in Perth in Western Australia, we manufacture high-powered paging transmitters that we've delivered, 6 or 7 large systems over the last 4 years. So pushing nearly 2,000 transmitters over this period. So manufacturing in-house is challenging, from a cost and planning point of view. But it also gives us a lot more control over, production cycles and the quality of what goes out the door.
It's not only in Australia, right? You export to other countries?
Yeah, we do. So we've done big networks in Europe, so Belgium, the Netherlands, the US, the UK, over the last few years. So, yeah.
But paging technology remains very much alive, and for good reasons. Consider coverage. The typical cellular tower transmits 300 watts of radiated power. And in much the same way that physical obstacles block light, cellular signals get weakened or even interrupted by things like buildings or trees. By contrast, the paging network's narrowband signal is, on average, 7 times stronger than cellular.
When everything goes down, paging is there to stay, and paging will stay there, right, John?
Paging is going to stick around for a long time. People have predicted the death of it, but in reality, it's the only thing that keeps standing when everything else stops. The design of a simulcast network allows part of it to fail, but the rest of it keep working and still cover the area that failed. That doesn't happen with cellular technology or any other communication technology, really. And there's been lots of instances around the world when disaster strikes, paging is the only thing that keeps on working. And people think it's an old technology, but in reality we still use other technologies that are far older. And right now there's a lot of new product coming out of the market incorporating new designs and new features which are going to make paging even more relevant going into the future.
So about the technology, actually, going a little bit more deeper into the technology, TPL Systems is one of those companies who are producing those pagers. And Brad, what about the fact that this technology is changing? Is that beneficial to you guys as well?
Yeah, of course. So every product that we make in the messaging industry, we still have the standard paging receiver in it, whether it be POC, SAG or Flex. But we're now integrating newer technologies so that we can. One of the limiting factors with paging has always been that it's a one-way technology. So by integrating newer technologies, we're actually getting responses back. So we're integrating with things like cellular, IoT, or even response back over paging.
Okay, Liam, so, paging is partly hardware, partly software, but software is most important, is it? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, software is the engine that drives this. It always comes back to shortening that response time, and the way you shorten the response time is by understanding the workflow. So what we do is we take a manual input, we take an automatic input, we process it according to a set of rules, and we deliver an output just to shorten the response time and achieve better outcomes.
If it's about an alliance or an association, that means that several companies are gathering together in order to get the best possible outcome for end users on the critical communications market, specifically in this case for paging. That's interesting because in this case, these companies do create synergy in the market. So I'm right, Brett, in this case?
Yeah, absolutely, Gout. So TPL, we specialise in manufacturing the hardware, the handheld devices. Prism-IPX specialise in manufacturing the backbone so that the infrastructure's rock solid. Johan expertise is in making the transmitters, the best paging transmitter on the market that we see. And from Tellen's point of view, they represent Multitone out of UK, which are extremely experienced in doing a front-end messaging software.
Yeah. So that means in this case that the alliance is creating synergy. These guys are really working together to get the best possible result for the end user. That's interesting because they're different companies on different locations with their own agenda, but still within the alliance they do a good job and providing outstanding solutions for the customers.
We're all manufacturers and we all have our own strengths. And by working together, we can provide the outcome that the customer needs far more easily than somebody trying to bring a whole lot of other parts together and not actually have the manufacturers there doing the work. We are the manufacturers and we are doing the work and delivering the systems to the customer's needs.
I couldn't agree more.
100%.
John brings up some extremely good points.
So one of the things I really found out here during this short discussion I had at the Critical Messaging Alliance stand here is that these guys are really offering true solutions for the end users. Make sure that their message is heard no matter what. And that's the most important thing in critical communications, in critical messaging. I just heard that Johan and John are there at the coffee shop. And I have another question about critical messaging, and I heard that these guys are working together on solutions for the market, very closely actually. Guys, can I disturb you for a second? You're talking here, having a nice cup of coffee, but I heard that you guys are working very closely together, or in some cases, to develop solutions. Can you tell me a little bit more on that?
Yeah, we had an instance a couple of months ago where the customer required a hot standby solution. So if a transmitter failed, I want to make sure there was another one automatically there in a hospital. Yeah. And that hasn't been developed before for paging, or it has, but ages ago. And we were able to turn that around with STI in a matter of 2 months.
So from concept, from idea to real possible real solution that works straight away in 2 months.
Yeah, and that was integrated into their system and integrated into our system in 2 months.
In this industry, it often is the case that things are taking ages to be developed.
Well, they can take ages, but STI are exceptionally good at what they do, and we think we're pretty good at what we do. And we communicate very clearly, we work very closely, we know how each other thinks, and we can turn things around very quickly.
And you don't have large processes and approval processes internally, right?
Not internally, no.
It's not that, and also, the equipment being built on a modern platform, a lot of it is controlled in software and firmware. And since we do our own manufacturing as well, turnaround times a lot quicker.